Let this be a place where nothing is asked of you. Breathe in slowly, let it go softly, and feel yourself begin to sink into a deep and easy stillness. Imagine a warm wooden cabin nestled among snow-covered pines, its windows glowing gold against the dark winter night. The snow drifts down without a sound, covering the forest in a soft and gentle white. Inside, the fire glows low, the blankets are thick, and the warmth settles over you like a quiet embrace. There is nowhere to be and nothing to finish. Let your thoughts slow and quiet, and let the falling snow ease you, breath by breath, towards sleep. Frost has settled on the porch rail, glittering faintly under the stars, and you run a gloved finger along it as you gaze upward. The night is clear and deep, the sky crowded with quiet light over the snowy pines. The clearing glows softly, smooth and untouched, and the forest stands silent at its edges. You breathe slowly, watching the stars in their slow, unhurried places, in no hurry to do anything but look. There is a deep restfulness in the stillness, and the way the cold and the dark and the light all hold so perfectly quiet. The cabin glows warm behind you, waiting. You linger a while longer beneath the patient sky, letting it calm you, then step gently back inside toward the soft promise of sleep. Deep in your warm bed, you watch the bright moon framed in the window and listen to the perfect silence of the snowy forest. The light lies soft and silver across the room, and beyond the glass the pines stand luminous and still, their branches bowed with gleaming snow. The cabin is warm and dim, the stove glowing low, the air gently scented with cedar and ash. You feel wrapped in safety and calm, the heavy quilt soft against you, the night holding its quiet all round. A faint hush of snow slipping from a high bough reaches you, then stillness returns, deeper than before. You let your gaze soften on the glowing window, your thoughts drifting slow as the clouds, and feel yourself sinking gently, peacefully, into warm and easy sleep beneath the patient moon. The wind has eased to almost nothing, and now the rain falls straight down through the still dark, an even silver curtain just visible in the porch light's glow. On the cabin roof it makes its long soft sound, the same patient note held all night through. Inside the fire is a low orange breathing, and the lamp a small amber star. You lie warm beneath the blankets and watch the steady fall through the window, the way it dimples the soft gray snow, the way it beads on the dark pine boughs. Your breath has slowed to match the rain. There is nothing sharp in this night, nothing that asks to be solved. There is only the gentle, even fall, and the warm dark, and the slow slide toward sleep. Inside the dim cabin you draw the worn quilt up over your lap and watch the snow outside catch the very last of the daylight, glowing a soft pearl blue between the shadowed trunks. The fire has burned down to a bed of deep orange coals that pulse gently in the hearth. There is no need to add another log just yet. You sit in the half-dark between the cool window and the warm coals, suspended in the quiet of the hour, and let your thoughts drift slow and aimless. The light outside dims by gentle degrees. The coals breathe their soft orange glow, and little by little, in the gathering peace, your eyes begin to close. The frost has drawn delicate patterns across the window pane, and you trace one with your eyes in the low lamplight. A faint breeze passes outside, just enough to lift the thin shimmer of snow from the nearest pine before the air falls still and the forest holds its quiet again. The cabin is warm around you, dim and soft, the stove glowing low in the corner. You feel calm settle deep in your chest like snow gathering on a windless night. There is no rush in this hour, no place you need to be. You let your gaze drift across the frosted glass and the dark pines beyond, and the deep stillness eases your thoughts, slowing them gently toward the warm edge of rest. In the dim blue of early evening, the cabin feels wrapped in a gentle, complete hush. You sit on the floor near the wood stove, your back against the soft cushion, watching the firelight flicker against the wooden walls. Through the window, the snowy pines have faded into the dusk, their shapes soft and patient against the deep blue sky. The snow glows faintly in the clearing, smooth and undisturbed. The room is warm, the air still, the only sound the gentle settling of the fire. You feel the day let go of you breath by slow breath. There is nowhere to be and nothing to chase. The blue hour holds you softly, and your eyelids grow heavy in the warm, dim glow. You lie still beneath the layered blankets, listening to the great quiet of the snow-bound night. A faint breeze whispers somewhere in the rafters, soft as breath, and then the cabin settles into a stillness so deep it feels almost like a held note. Through the small window the pines stand dark and patient, the snow between them faintly glowing under the dim sky. The warmth of the bed wraps close around you, easing the cold from your skin. There is nothing to think of now, nothing to do but rest. You feel your body soften into the mattress, and your breathing slow to meet the silence. The deep stillness of the forest gathers gently around you, and you drift unhurried into sleep. Set in the center of the table is a shallow wooden bowl, turned from a single piece of birch, so the pale grain swirls across its inner curve. You might run a thumb along its smooth lip, feeling one tiny ridge the lathe left behind, the satin coolness of the wood, the faint dish of weight it has even when empty. A few stray crumbs and a single dried bay leaf rest in its hollow. The lamplight slides across the polished surface like water finding its level. Outside, snow gathers on the sill in a soft pale rim. The bowl holds only emptiness and a little leftover fragrance now, but it holds them well, calm and rounded and unhurried, as the cabin sinks into its evening quiet. The little wooden cabin sits quietly at the edge of the pines, and on this warm summer night every window is open wide. A soft breeze drifts through the rooms, carrying the green scent of needles and warm bark. You lie on the bed beneath a thin cotton sheet, listening to the forest breathe around you. Somewhere far off, a single owl gives one low, unhurried call, then goes silent again. The wooden walls still hold a faint warmth from the long afternoon sun, and they tick and settle ever so gently as the air cools. There is nothing to do here, nowhere to be. You let your shoulders soften into the mattress and feel the whole night settle slowly down around you. You lie still on the bed beneath the slanted eaves, listening to the great silence of the snow-bound forest. A faint breeze finds a seam in the timber, and a thread of cool air drifts across the room, then fades, and the quiet returns deeper than before. Through the small window the pines stand dark and laden, the snow between them glowing faintly under a dim and gentle sky. The blankets are heavy and warm, holding you close against the cold. You feel your body soften into the mattress, your breathing slow and even. There's nothing to think of now, nothing to do but rest. The stillness of the night gathers softly around the cabin, and you drift, easy and unhurried, into sleep. In the dim early light, you move quietly across the cabin in thick slippers, setting the kettle on to boil. The water hums faintly as it warms, a low and soothing note. Outside the window, the snowy pines emerge slowly from the night's darkness, their shapes softening into focus as the gray dawn spreads. Snow lies thick on the windowsill, sparkling faintly. The stove radiates a gentle heat that fills the small room. You rest your hands on the warm wood of the counter and simply wait, letting the morning take its time. There is comfort in these small, slow tasks, in the quiet patience of the kettle, in the deep stillness of the waking forest. The cabin smells of wood smoke and wet wool and the faint green sweetness of pine, and the rain on the roof is a soft, unbroken hush. You sit on the floor with your back against the warm side of the woodbox, a blanket around your shoulders, watching the last flames lower themselves into coals. Outside the window the night is gray and gentle, the snow softening under the steady fall, the dark pines beaded with water. You have nowhere to go and nothing to carry. The warmth seeps into your back and the rain seeps into your ears, and your thoughts grow slow and shapeless and kind. You let your head tip gently against the wood, and the rain keeps falling, and you go. A wooden bench sits at the forest's edge, and you have settled onto it to watch the autumn light fade among the trees. The pines rise tall and dark, but here and there a maple has caught fire with the season, its leaves glowing orange and gold in the low sun. The air is crisp and clean, scented with resin and the faint sweetness of decay. A few leaves let go and tumble down without sound. You wrap your hands inside your sleeves and simply look, letting your gaze soften and drift. The shadows pull deeper between the trunks, and the warmth slips slowly from the air, and your breathing settles into the quiet of the coming evening. From the loft's low bed, you look down through the rails at the dim room below, where the stove glows faintly orange. A faint breeze drifts through the cabin, lifting the soft fringe of a rug for a moment before the air settles into deep quiet. Outside the gable window, the pines stand dark and snow-laden, motionless beneath the still night sky. The wolf rises gently from below, gathering around you in the loft like a soft tide. You feel the blankets heavy and kind across your chest, your breathing slow and even. The forest holds its silence, and the cabin holds its warmth, and you let yourself sink into the gentle hush, your thoughts dissolving softly into the long winter dark. The frost on the window has begun to melt at its edges, where the cabin's warmth reaches the glass, leaving slow droplets that trace silver paths downward. You watch them with sleepy eyes from your seat near the stove, a wool blanket draped across your knees. Outside, the pine forest is washed in a soft pearl gray of early morning, every branch heavy and still. A faint glow at the horizon promises the sun, though it has not yet appeared. The cabin smells of warm wood and old paper. You feel wonderfully unhurried, content to sit and watch the frost dissolve, listening to the deep silence of the snow that surrounds you on every gentle side. At the cabin's small writing desk, you set down your pen and lean back to watch the moon over the trees. Its light falls across the open pages and turns the white paper faintly luminous. Beyond the frosted window the clearing lies smooth and bright, the snow holding the glow like a soft mirror. The pines beyond stand in their quiet rows, capped and silvered, utterly motionless in the windless cold. You fold your hands and simply watch, your mind unspooling slowly, the way the moonlight unspools across the drifts. The lamp beside you hums a low, warm light, but the moon outshines it tonight. You sit in the gentle quiet, feeling the day's small cares dissolve into the calm of the bright winter night. The window of the little cabin has bloomed overnight with ferns of frost, delicate and intricate, fanning across the glass in patterns no hand could draw. As the first light of dawn touches them, they begin to shimmer, each frozen leaf glowing softly pink and gold. Beyond the frost, the snowy pines wait in dim gray stillness. You lie beneath warm blankets, tracing the icy patterns with sleepy eyes, watching the light slowly strengthen behind them. The cabin holds the faint, comforting smell of cedar and old wood smoke. Outside, the cold is deep and silent. Inside, you are wrapped in warmth, drifting at the soft edge of waking, content to let the frosted morning glow without you for a while longer. The afternoon sun finds the cabin's small clock on the mantel and gilds its worn brass face, though you do not read the time. You sit in the chair below it, hands folded, watching the warm light move slowly across the wooden mantel and the few stones arranged there. Through the window the snowy pines stand still and bright, their crowns lit soft amber. The cabin is hushed but for the clock's gentle tick. You let the sound and the light wash over you, slow and steady, asking nothing. The gold deepens by patient degrees as the afternoon eases on. You breathe in the smell of timber and old smoke, and let the quiet hour hold you, deeply and gently calm. The afternoon light reaches the cabin's narrow side window where a strand of dried orange slices hangs on a thread, and it shines through them in glowing circles of amber. You stand close, breathing in their faint sweet scent, watching the light pass through each translucent ring. Beyond the glass, the snowy pines stand still under their soft white load. The cabin is warm and hushed. You turn one slice gently on its thread and watch the gold tremble through it. There is a small, simple beauty here that asks nothing of you. The long afternoon light pulls warm around the window, and you stay a while, content, letting the sweetness and the gold fill the quiet hour. The cabin's small window has fogged at its lower edge, and through the clear upper pane you watch the rain fall slantwise through the porch light's glow. Each drop flares for an instant, silver and brief, then vanishes into the snowbank below. The roof carries a soft, continuous murmur, the kind that fills a room without filling your thoughts. Behind the wood stove's iron door, the embers pulse a dim and steady red. You are sunk deep into a cushioned bench, a blanket over your knees, your breath slow. The pines stand far off in the dark, gathering rain on their crowns. You think of nothing in particular, and that nothing is soft and welcome, and the rain keeps falling, patient and even, easing you down toward sleep. In the small hours, a thin moon rises over the pines and pours its pale light through the cabin window, laying a long silver rectangle across the plank floor. You watch it from your pillow, the way it gleams on the worn wood, the way the shadows of the window pane fall soft and dark within it. The room is warm, the air faintly sweet with the scent of pine needles drying near the stove. Outside, every branch is heavy and motionless under its snow. The whole forest seems to be sleeping, and the cabin sleeps with it, and you are part of that slow shared rest. Your eyelids grow heavy in the moonlight, and you let them close. Just beyond the cabin, a fallen log makes a natural seat at the forest's edge, and you sit there in the warm dark, watching the moon climb above the pines. The summer night is mild, the air rich with resin and earth. The great trees rise tall and black around you, their crowns silvered by the rising moon. The forest floor is soft with the needles, and the night is full of small gentle sounds, the chirr of crickets, the distant sigh of the canopy. The cabin glows warm and golden behind you through the trunks. You sit very still, feeling small and safe beneath the towering trees and the endless stars. The moon lifts higher, pale and serene, and the deep calm spreads slowly through you in the warm and patient dark. Somewhere in the rafters a single drop has found a way through, and it falls now and then into a tin pail with a small clear note, a quiet punctuation in the larger murmur of rain. You find you do not mind it. If anything, it deepens the peace, this tiny tinted rhythm in the dark. The fire is low and orange and warm. Beyond the fogged window the snow lies soft and gray beneath the steady fall, and the pines stand black and patient, dripping into the white. You are wrapped warm and still on the narrow bed. The roof murmurs, the drop chimes, the fire breathes, and your own breath slows to join them until sleep comes for you, unhurried and kind. Beneath a thick drift along the meadow's hidden border, a vault tunnels slow and warm through the soft world it has carved beneath the snow. There, in the dim space between the white ceiling and the frozen ground, the air is gentle and the cold is held away. It moves unhurried along its little corridors, then curls into a grassy chamber to rest. Above, the snow lies smooth and unbroken, giving no sign of the small life moving beneath. From the cabin you see only the calm white field stretching toward the trees. Yet under that quiet surface a tiny creature sleeps in perfect shelter, and the secret warmth of it, hidden and safe, makes the white cold night feel softer than before. The little cabin holds you close this spring evening as you lie on a soft rug before the dying fire. Outside, the snow has nearly gone, and the dark, damp earth smells of moss and rain through the cracked window. The pines stand quiet in the deepening dusk, and the swollen brook murmurs faintly in the distance. The fire glows low and orange, its warmth seeping into your tired limbs. A wool blanket lies soft beneath you, and the cushion cradles your head. The room is dim and golden and very still. You watch the last embers pulse and fade, your breathing slow and deep. The night settles gently over the forest, and you feel yourself sinking softly, comfortably, toward the edge of sleep. The fire has burned down to embers, and the room glows half with their warmth and half with moonlight. You lie on the narrow bed, watching the bright square on the floor inch slowly across the floorboards as the moon climbs. Outside the window the snowy pines are bathed in silver, so still they might be painted. The cabin smells of wood smoke, and the faint resin of the timber walls warm and familiar. You pull the blanket to your chin and let your eyes follow the slow travel of the light. Each time the embers shift with a soft sigh, you feel a little drowsier, a little more at ease. The moon keeps its slow watch over the forest, and you let it carry your thoughts away. Beneath the cabin's eaves, where the roof overhangs and the snow cannot reach, a pair of mourning doves have settled close together on a sheltered beam. Their soft, fawn-colored bodies press lightly against one another, sharing warmth in the quiet dark. Now and then one shifts its weight with the faintest rustle of feathers, then goes still again. The wind moves through the pines beyond, but here, under the wooden lip of the roof, the air is calm and dry. You sit by the window with a warm cup cradled in your hands, watching their gentle outlines settle deeper into sleep. The night holds them softly, and you feel your own breathing slow to match. Standing at the window with a blanket round your shoulders, you watch the moon lay a path of light straight across the snowy clearing. It runs from the cabin steps to the dark edge of the pines, smooth and bright as a ribbon of pearl. The trees stand still in the cold, their snow-laden branches catching the glow and holding it softly. Your breath fogs the lower edge of the glass, and you wipe it clear with the sleeve to watch a little longer. The night is windless and deeply quiet, the kind of quiet that settles the mind. Behind you the stove crackles once, gently. You feel your shoulders loosen, your breathing slow, and the bright, peaceful scene draw all your worries quietly away. Sometime past midnight, the snow begins falling again, so lightly you can barely tell. From the cabin's single window, you watch the flakes appear out of the blackness, caught for a moment in the dim spill of a lantern left low on the sill. They turn slowly as they descend, each one finding its own unhurried path to the white drifts below. The pines beyond are only suggestions now, soft gray shapes layered into the dark. Inside, the air is warm and close, smelling faintly of wood smoke and cedar. You rest your cheek against the cool pillow and watch the falling snow until the watching itself becomes a kind of sleep, quiet and weightless and slow. Tonight the cold is so deep that the snow squeaks softly beneath its own settling weight, and the stars over the pines burn cold and clear. Inside the cabin you have curled into a nest of cushions before the stove, a heavy knit throw across your lap. The fire breathes low and steady, its warmth wrapping around you like a slow, gentle tide. You can feel the chill leaning at the window, but here, close to the embers, everything is soft and golden. A faint resin scent drifts from the woodpile by the door. You hold a warm cup in both hands, breathing slowly, your eyelids growing heavy. The frozen night holds the cabin in its vast, silent hands, and you let yourself rest, warm and safe, as sleep gathers softly around you. Through the cabin window at midnight, the fog glows faintly gray beneath a hidden moon. You sit wrapped in a blanket, watching the mist drift among the snowy pines, slow and soft and endless. The trees are dark suggestions within it, their branches heavy with white. A single candle burns on the sill, doubled faintly in the cool glass. The fire murmurs low behind you, and the room holds its warmth close. The fog seems to hush the whole night, smoothing it into one long calm. You feel your thoughts grow slow and round and untroubled, drifting like the mist itself. There is nothing here to disturb you, nothing to reach for. You let the gentle gray drifting carry you, and your eyelids grow heavy, and the quiet deepens toward sleep. Far from any town, the cabin sits beneath the sky, undimmed by any other light, and tonight the stars shine over it in their fullest glory. From the porch you watch them, countless and calm, scattered thick across the deep dark above the snowy pines. The clearing glows faintly, smooth and still, and the cold air is clean and quiet. You stand wrapped in a heavy blanket, your breath rising softly, your eyes wandering among the faint points of light. There is something deeply restful in the sheer abundance of them, in the way they simply rest in the dark without sound or motion. The cabin glows warm behind you. You watch the vast still sky a long, peaceful moment, then turn gently home toward rest. You walk slowly to the kitchen window of the cabin, drawn by how bright the night has become. The full moon stands directly above the clearing now, pouring light so pure that the snow seems lit from within. Frost has feathered the lower corners of the glass in delicate white ferns that glow at their edges. Beyond them, the pine forest is hushed and motionless, each tree wearing its cap of snow like a quiet crown. You rest your hands on the cool wooden sill and simply look, letting the stillness fill you. The kettle behind you sighs softly as it cools. There is nothing to do and nowhere to be, only this calm bright night and the slow easy rhythm of your breath. Beneath the 3 wool blankets you have become a warm settled weight, and the rain has become the whole world's lullaby. It comes down soft and constant on the cabin, neither hurrying nor fading, a sound as old as forests and roofs. The wood stove ticks now and then as its iron cools, a small companionable sound in the dark. Through the window the pines are only suggestions, dark shapes layered into deeper dark, their needles holding 1,000 tiny drops. You can smell wood smoke and wet cedar and the clean cold breath of snow. Your eyes have grown heavy in the lamplight. You let them close and the rain goes on, patient and kind, asking nothing, giving only its steady, sleepy sound. The lamp burns low and golden as you settle into the worn couch, pulling a soft blanket up to your chest. A faint breeze sighs along the eaves above, a distant and gentle sound. Then the cabin falls into deep and peaceful silence. Through the window the pines stand dark and laden, the snow between them glowing faintly under the dim sky. The room is warm, the air still and easy, the stove blowing soft in the corner. There is nowhere to be tonight but here, wrapped in quiet and warmth. You feel your body soften into the cushions and your breathing slow and even, and the deep stillness of the snowbound forest gathers gently around you, easing you toward the soft edge of sleep. You have settled into the deepest chair in the cabin, close to the warmth of the stove, and from there you can just see the snow falling past the window. The flakes drift down softly in the dim evening light, slow and scattered, each finding its own way to the ground. The pines beyond are quiet silhouettes, their branches gathering thin lines of white. The cabin smells of wood smoke and warm wool. You let your eyes rest on the gentle fall, your thoughts growing softer with each drifting flake. There is nothing to chase, nothing to finish, only this slow and patient snow. The chair holds you, the stove warms you, and the falling snow lulls you, until your eyes close and the quiet of the night folds gently over you. From the small bed beneath the window, you can see a slim wedge of starlit sky between the dark crowns of the pines. A faint breeze drifts across the clearing outside, brushing loose snow into the faintest swirl before the air falls still and clear again. The cabin is dim and warm around you, the last lamp turned low, its light a soft golden thread along the wall. Snow lies deep and untouched, glowing faintly under the night, and the forest keeps its perfect quiet. You feel the cool air at the glass and the gentle warmth of the blankets, and the two together cradle you. Slowly your eyes grow heavy, and the deep stillness of the winter night draws you down into rest. The afternoon light reaches the rough-hewn dining table where a bowl of apples sits, and it turns their red skins to glowing embers. You sit with your elbows on the warm wood simply looking. The low sun slants long across the room, gilding the salt cellar, the wooden spoons, the edge of the breadboard. Through the window the snowy pines stand still and bright. The cabin smells faintly of cinnamon and wood smoke. You lift an apple and turn it in the light, watching its skin shine, and set it down again unbitten. There is a quiet pleasure in this slow noticing. The gold deepens as the afternoon leans on and you stay at the warm table, unhurried. A faint band of cloud above the western pines catches the underside of the sunset and turns a soft, glowing salmon pink, its edges feathered and slow to fade. You watch it from the cabin window, your tea warm in your hands, as the snow below it cools from gold to dusky blue. The cloud holds its color long after the sun has gone, a last lingering warmth in the darkening sky, and then it too dims, gently to gray, and then to nothing. The pines stand quiet beneath the emptying sky. You set down your cup and lean back, soothed by the slow and certain fading, and let the calm of the deep blue evening settle over the room. The clearing around the cabin is wide and open, and tonight it lies beneath a sky so full of stars that the dark itself seems luminous. You have come outside to stand in the middle of it, the snow firm beneath your boots, the cold clean and still around you. Above, the stars stretch from tree line to tree line, countless and calm, their light soft and serene. You tilt your head back and let your eyes wander among them, breathing slowly, your thoughts growing quiet. There is no wind, no sound, only the deep hush of the winter night. The pines stand dark and silent at the edges, the cabin glowing warm behind. You stay beneath the vast steel sky, a long, peaceful moment, then turn gently home. A single owl-quiet hush lies over the clearing, and you have stepped out to feel it on your skin. The snow is cool and firm beneath your boots, the air clean and still. Above you the stars stretch from one dark tree line to the other, a vast scattering of calm light over the pines. You breathe slowly, watching your breath rise and vanish, and let your eyes wander among the faint points overhead. There is something deeply soothing in their stillness, in the way they simply rest in the dark without sound or motion. The cold settles gently around you, and the cabin glows warm behind. You stay beneath the stars a long, peaceful moment, then turn back toward the soft light of home and sleep. The deep cold of midwinter has hushed the forest to silence, every needle of every pine sheathed in glittering frost. Inside the cabin you have lit the lamp and the small stove, and the room glows with a warm, dim amber light. A thick quilt is wrapped around you in the rocking chair, and you sway slowly, the runners creaking softly on the wooden floor. The chill presses at the windows but cannot pass the warm log walls. You watch the lamp flame burn steady and gold, listening to the vast quiet of the frozen night. Each slow rock of the chair settles you a little deeper into calm. Your breathing turns soft and even, your eyes grow heavy, and the long, peaceful evening carries you gently down towards sleep. The iron stove, settling into its warmth, gives off a slow series of soft metallic ticks as the heat moves through it, each one a small bright note in the low murmur of the fire. It is the comfortable language of warm metal, expanding by the tiniest degrees, speaking quietly to the dim room as the night grows cold outside. Tick, a pause, tick again, the stove keeping its own gentle time alongside the crackle of the coals. You lie close to its glow and listen to those small soft notes scattered through the quiet, and the steady warmth and the gentle ticking wrap around you together, easing you slowly, breath by breath, down into sleep. A bitter, beautiful cold has descended on the pines, and the snow glitters faintly where the moon touches it through gaps in the dark boughs. You sit in a dim cabin near the stove, wrapped in a heavy blanket, a cup of warm cider cooling slowly between your hands. The fire glows low and red, and its warmth seeps into you steadily, pushing the chill back to the far corners of the room. Outside the forest is suddenly silent, frozen and serene. You breathe in the scent of wood smoke and apple, and feel your thoughts grow slow and soft. There's a deep, restful peace in being warm while the world outside lies frozen and still. You let your eyes drift closed, and the quiet carries you gently onward. It is the quiet heart of the night, and the long-burned log in the stove has collapsed into a soft heap of glowing coals, breathing a steady, low warmth into the little cabin. You lie listening to the faint occasional crackle, watching the dim red light pulse against the timber walls. Outside the window, the snow has settled into smooth, untouched curves, and the pines stand dark and patient beneath their white burdens. The air smells of cedar and the gentle char of wood smoke. Your thoughts have grown slow and unhurried, drifting without aim. There is nothing here but warmth and quiet and the deep velvet dark. You feel sleep approaching softly, and you welcome it, sinking down into the warm, still night. The spring night settles soft and deep over the little cabin, and you lie in bed listening to the quiet voices of the waking forest. A swollen brook murmurs steadily through the dark, and now and then the last snow drips gently from the eaves. The pines stand still against the sky full of faint stars, their branches barely stirring. The cool, mild air drifting through the cracked window smells of thaw and moss and resin. A thick quilt covers you, warm and soft. The lamp glows low and amber across the room before you reach to dim it. The little cabin holds you safe and close. You feel weightless and calm, and the gentle sounds of the night wash slowly over you, carrying you down into sleep. As dusk turns the snow to soft pewter, the cabin glows warm against the cooling blue of evening. You sit near the window with a thick blanket about your shoulders, watching the forest settle into stillness. The pines stand dark and patient, their branches heavy with snow that catches the last faint light. Inside, the only sounds are the low murmur of the fire and the soft tick of a clock you have stopped watching. The room smells of wood smoke and the warm wool. You feel the day's weight slipping quietly from you, breath by slow breath. The blue hour holds the world gently in its hush, and you let yourself be held along with it, calm and unhurried in the dim, kind light. In a roomy nest box mounted on a pine near the cabin, a cluster of tiny pygmy nuthatches has bundled together for the night, a dozen small bodies sharing the warmth of one another against the deep cold. They have done this every winter night, packing into the snug wooden box until the chill cannot touch them. Inside it is dark and close and warm. The snow falls soft on the slanted roof of their little house. From your own warm cabin you glance at the small box on the trunk and feel a quiet kinship with its sleeping crowd. Shelter shared is warmth doubled, and the thought of it spreads through you like the heat of the low fire, easy and slow. Late in the day, the snow beyond the porch glows a soft amber, catching the slanted sun as it sinks toward the tree line. You stand at the open doorway wrapped in a thick sweater, looking out over the clearing. The cold air touches your face gently, and your breath rises in slow, pale clouds. The pines cast long blue shadows across the bright snow, and where the light falls it is the color of melted butter. Somewhere a branch eases its weight, and a little powder sighs to the ground. You feel the warmth of the cabin behind you, and the calm of the world before you, and you simply stand a while, letting the quiet settle over everything. The little iron stove has burned low through the night, and the soft heat still radiates from its dark belly. You watch a thread of pale smoke drift up the chimney pipe and out into the dawn-colored air. Through the small window, the snowy forest is just beginning to take shape, the pines emerging from darkness as soft gray silhouettes. The first light is gentle, almost shy, brushing the tops of the trees with the faintest gold. A kettle sits cooling on the stovetop. The floorboards are cool beneath a rug. You are in no rush to rise. There is comfort in simply lying still, feeling the slow warmth, watching the morning unfold one quiet shade at a time. Beside the cabin, an old water pump stands by a wooden trough, and you have come out in the warm night to splash cool water over your hands and face. The metal handle is smooth and worn, and the water comes up clear and cold, splashing softly into the trough. The summer dark is gentle around you, the pines tall and quiet, the stars scattered thick above. The cool water feels wonderful after the day's warmth, and you let it run over your wrists, breathing slowly. Crickets sing in the long grass, and the cabin glows warm behind you. You wipe your face with the back of your hand and look up at the wheeling stars a moment, calm and unhurried, before turning back to the soft light of home. Against the window panes the wind presses now and then, with a soft and rounded sigh, testing the glass, finding it firm and easing away again into the dark. There is nothing sharp in it, no rattle, no whine, only a low breathy hush, as the cold air leans gently on the cabin and lets go. You are tucked deep in the warmth, and each soft press of wind against the window only makes the indoors feel snugger still. The sound rises, holds, and softens, again and again, like slow waves touching a quiet shore. You follow each one as it fades, and the rhythm of the leaning wind smooths the last small wrinkles from your thoughts. The cabin floats in a thick gray fog, and from your bed you watch the pale light at the window, soft and shadowless. The snowy pines have disappeared entirely into the mist, leaving only quiet grayness in every direction. The stove holds a gentle warmth, and the blankets lie heavy and kind upon you. Outside, the fog has hushed the whole forest into a dreamless stillness, and no sound reaches the little room. You feel tucked away, held safe within the warm cabin, while the soft gray morning drifts on beyond. There is no reason to rise, no edge to the hour. You let your eyes fall half closed and your breathing slow, and the gentle quiet of the fog carries you back, unhurried, toward the warm shallows of sleep. The afternoon sun finds the patchwork quilt folded over the foot of the bed, lighting each faded square to a warm and gentle hue. You sit on the edge of the mattress and smooth the cloth with your palm, in no hurry. The low light slants across the room and gilds the bedpost, the worn rug, the small lamp on the nightstand. Through the window the pine forest stands deep in snow, its near boughs lit soft amber. The cabin is hushed and warm. You feel the quilt's warm softness and the warmth of the sun on your back. The long light moves slowly across the floor, and you breathe out, letting the calm of the afternoon settle into your bones. Curled deep beneath your blankets, you watch the moonlit window glow steady and bright above you. The snow outside catches the light and softens it, filling the dim cabin with a faint silver hush. You picture the clearing beyond the walls, smooth and untouched, the pines standing patient in their white robes beneath a clear, cold sky. The bed is warm, the quilt heavy and kind, and the night holds its perfect stillness around you. Somewhere a branch lets go its load of snow with a soft sigh, then quiet returns, deeper than before. You feel your thoughts grow slow and soft, drifting like the clouds across the moon. Your eyes close gently, the bright window glowing behind them, and you sink without effort into warm, untroubled sleep. On the porch, a small table holds a teapot and a single cup, and the late autumn sun gilds the curve of the porcelain to a warm gold. You pour slowly, the amber tea steaming in the cooling air, and settle back into your chair to watch the evening come. The pine forest stands hushed before you, the last light on its crowns. A leaf or two drifts across the clearing, turning bright. You cradle the warm cup and sip, and the warmth moves gently through you. The shadows lengthen, the gold softens toward dusk, and the whole quiet world seems to slow to the pace of your unhurried breath as you watch the day. Let go. Snow has piled high against the cabin window during the night, halfway up the lower pane, glowing a soft luminous blue in the dawn. You lie in bed and gaze at it, marveling quietly at how the world has been transformed in the dark hours. The forest beyond is a hushed white expanse, the pines bent low under their heavy loads. Inside, the cabin is snug and warm, the air still and scented with cedar. You feel wonderfully sheltered, tucked away from the cold within these wooden walls. There is no need to stir. You watch the blue light glow at the window, feeling the deep, soft peace of being safe and warm in the quiet snow. The blue hour comes to the cabin like a slow tide, filling the windows with deepening dusk. You stand at the sink, rinsing a single cup, watching the snow yard turn from white to silver to soft gray blue. The pines beyond the fence have become gentle shapes in the gloaming, neither dark nor light. A low fire murmurs in the hearth, and the room smells faintly of wood smoke and pine. You dry your hands and move to the window, leaning your forehead briefly against the cool glass. Everything outside is calm and unmoving. The dusk asks nothing of you. You let your eyes rest on the fading forest and feel a deep, easy quiet settle through your chest. From the cabin's small loft, you look down through a round window at the spring evening settling over the pine forest. Threads of melting snow gleam silver in the fading light, and the air that drifts up through the open hatch is cool and damp and sweet. A candle burns steady on the sill beside you, its flame upright and calm. The rafters above are close and dark, sheltering. You can hear the faint creak of the old timbers easing in the cooling air, a slow and friendly sound. You arrange the soft quilts around you and lean back against the worn cushion. The forest breathes quietly below, and the light slips away by gentle inches, and you let it. You have pulled a chair close to the frosted window, a wool blanket draped across your knees. Outside, the snow glows faintly under a sky thick with stars, each one a small steady point in the great dark hush. The pines are still, their snowy boughs unmoving in the windless night. You let your eyes follow the faint river of light that spills across the middle of the sky, that pale band so soft it could be breath on cold glass. There is nothing to do but watch and breathe. The cabin holds you warmly, the fire ticking low, and the stars keep their gentle place above the forest, patient and unhurried, asking nothing of you but your slow, quiet attention. You have left the lamp burning low on purpose, just enough light to soften the dark and gild the rough ceiling beams, and now you lie beneath it, listening to the rain. It comes down even and unhurried on the cabin roof, the sound of a sky that has settled in for the night. The wood stove holds a warmth you can feel in your bones. Through the window the snow has gone gentle and gray under the fall, and the pines stand patient and dripping in the dark. There is nothing to wait for and nothing to dread. The light is soft, the warmth is deep, the rain is endless and kind. You feel your breath slow, and your body grow heavy, and you let the long sound take you. The moon is so bright tonight that the cabin needs no lamp at all. You move quietly through the single room, letting the silver light guide you, and pause at the window to watch the forest. Snow lies thick and luminous across the clearing, broken only by the faint tracks of a hare that crossed earlier in the day. The pines rise dark and still against the sky-washed pale around the moon. You wrap your hands in the hem of your sweater and breathe slowly, feeling the cold radiate gently from the glass. The stove's embers glow low and orange behind you, a small warm heart in the silvered dark. You linger, peaceful and unhurried, watching the bright night hold its breath. Inside the cabin, a deep window seat looks out upon the clearing, its cushion soft and faded, and you curl into it as the autumn evening turns the world to gold. You draw a blanket over your legs and rest your back against the warm wood frame. The pine forest stands before you, the low sun pouring through the trunks. A few leaves drift down across the glass. The cushion holds you gently, and the gold light lies warm across your lap. There is nowhere else you would rather be. You watch the colors deepen, gold to amber to soft gray, and feel your eyes grow heavy and your breathing slow, the long quiet day drawing softly to its rest. A profound winter cold has stilled the pine forest into perfect silence, every branch heavy with snow beneath a clear, dark sky. From the cabin's window seat, you watch the moonlight glaze the snow a soft, luminous blue. Behind you, the stove radiates a deep, even warmth, and a thick blanket is wrapped around your shoulders. The chill presses at the glass, drawing frost up in pale feathers, but the warmth inside is steady and sure. You hold a warm mug in your hands and feel the heat travel slowly up your arms. There is a great restful peace in the stillness, in being warm while the frozen world lies silent outside. You breathe slowly, your eyes grow heavy, and the deep winter quiet draws you gently towards sleep. Late, very late, the wood stove has burned down to a bed of soft gray ash, with a single coal glowing at its heart, like a tiny ember-colored star. The cabin is dim and warm and still. You lie listening to the small settling sounds of the timbers, the faint sigh of wind brushing the eaves, the deep nothing of the snow-buried forest beyond. A mug of something warm sits cooling on the bedside table, half forgotten. Your limbs feel heavy in the best way, sinking softly into the mattress. There is no urgency here, no edge to anything. The night simply holds you, patient and unhurried, and you let yourself drift down into it, like a leaf settling onto still water. Beside the stream behind the cabin, smooth stones make a place to sit, and you have come there in the warm night to dip your bare feet in the cool running water. The current slides past your ankles, gentle and constant, soothing the warmth of the day from your skin. The summer dark is soft, the pines tall and still, the stars bright overhead. The water murmurs over the stones in a steady, calming voice. The cabin glows warm through the trees behind you. Crickets sing in the grass, and a faint breeze carries the scent of resin and water. You sit very still, feet cool in the stream, watching the starlight glint on the moving surface, and feel your thoughts drift away downstream, slow and easy and calm. A worn deck of cards rests in a split paper box on the side table, the corners of each card rounded soft by countless shuffles. You might fan them gently and feel their slick, worn faces, the faint waxy slide of one against another, the slight curve they all hold from being held so often. The backs show a faded blue pattern, the design rubbed thin in the center of the stack. A single card is creased clean across, marked forever. The lamp pours warm light over the little box. Snow falls soundless beyond the glass. The old cards keep the memory of long, quiet gains in their soft, worn edges, resting easy in their box, asking nothing of the gentle, drifting night. The moonlit forest glows beyond the window as you settle deep into bed. The snow lies smooth and bright across the clearing, and the pines stand tall and silvered against the pale night sky. The light spills softly across your quilt, cool and clean, and the cabin holds its warmth around you like a gentle hand. The stove glows low, the air sweet with wood smoke and cedar, and the only sound is the soft settling of the timber walls. You watch the bright morn drift slowly higher, your eyes follow in its patient climb, and feel the deep stillness of the night settle through you. Your thoughts grow soft and slow, drifting like the clouds across the moon. Your eyelids fall, the blowing window blurs, and you sink gently into warm, untroubled sleep. The night is hushed and the cabin warm, and you sit alone with the soft comfort of solitude wrapped around you. The lamp glows amber, and the snow drifts slow beyond the dark glass. A fond memory comes gently of a long-ago birthday spent quietly with those closest to you. The small cake, the soft singing, the feeling of being cherished, and you hold it lightly, smiling into the still room. The recollection brings only sweetness. Outside, the pines stand silent beneath their weight of white, the forest perfectly still. The fire breathes low and steady. Your thoughts grow slow and gentle, and you feel a deep contentment settle through you. Calm as the snowfall over the sleeping woods, your mind drifting softly toward rest. From the cabin you watch the snow on the clearing turn slowly mauve, then gray, then a deep and dreaming blue as the sun goes fully down behind the pines. The change is so gradual that you cannot say exactly when the day becomes the night. It simply softens and deepens, color by color, until the trees are only darker shapes against the dark sky. Inside, you have not yet lit the lamp, and the cabin is full of soft blue dusk and the faint orange of the dying fire. You sit very still, watching the world go quiet and dim, feeling the gentle weight of the evening settle, and find that you are wholly, deeply at peace. In the drawer of the bedside table lies a small pocket knife, its bone handle smoothed to a soft ivory by years in a palm. You might lift it and feel its comfortable weight, the cool brass bolsters at either end, the tiny crescent notch where a thumbnail opens the worn blade. The bone has yellowed gently and taken a faint network of fine cracks. The blade, folded safe inside, has been honed thin and bright over many seasons. The lamp glows low above the open drawer. Snow drifts past the dark window. The little knife rests closed and quiet in its drawer, a small, steady tool worn soft by long use, content to lie still in the warm dim as the night settles deep. From the warmth of your bed, you watch a thin shelf of cloud drift slowly across the bright moon. For a moment the snowy forest dims, the silver fading to soft gray, and then the cloud passes, and the clearing blazes, white again. You find yourself smiling at the gentle rhythm of it, the slow breathing of the sky. The cabin is warm and dark, the stove glowing low, the air sweet with pine. Snow lies thick and luminous over everything beyond the window, untouched and serene. You pull the quilt close and settle deeper into the pillow, content to watch the moon play hide and seek with the clouds. Each cycle of light and shadow lulls you a little further, until your eyes close and stay closed. On the desk lies an open notebook, its pages soft and slightly furred at the edges, the paper a warm cream gone faintly brown along the borders. You might smooth the page flat and feel the gentle tooth of it under your fingertips, the faint impression of writing pressed through from the page before, the small soft dent where an elbow has rested many times. The cover is a worn cloth the color of moss. A thin ribbon marks a place somewhere within. The lamp pulls warm light across the open paper. Snow falls soundless beyond the glass. The notebook waits without urgency, holding its quiet pages open to the lamplight, asking nothing of you tonight but to share the room's gentle calm. The cabin's stone chimney sends up a thin ribbon of smoke that turns gold where the evening sun still reaches it, then fades to gray as it rises into the cooling air. You watch it from the woodpile, an armful of split logs held loosely against your chest. There is no need to hurry the task. The pines around the clearing have gone quiet, their topmost needles burning faintly with the last light, while everything below settles toward dusk. The bark is dry and rough beneath your fingers, the logs heavier than they look. You carry them in slowly, one trip and then another, and each return to the warm doorway feels like a small homecoming. The path from the cabin door winds away between the pines, deep in untouched snow, curving out of sight into the gray woods. In the first light of dawn it glows softly, a pale ribbon laid across the dim forest floor. You watch it from the window, in no hurry to follow, content to let it wait. The trees on either side hold their burden of snow in patient silence, their tops just beginning to catch the morning's faint gold. Inside, the cabin is warm and still, the air scented with last night's fire. You wrap both hands around the steaming mug and feel the heat seep into your fingers. The day stretches ahead, soft and unhurried, and you let yourself sink into the gentle peace of its beginning. The deep cold has made the whole forest crystalline tonight. frost gathering on every twig until the pines seemed dusted with sugar in the pale light. Inside the cabin, you sit close to the hearth with a thick blanket wrapped around you, watching the firelight flicker warm and gold across the log walls. A pot of water steams gently on the stove, filling the room with soft, humid warmth against the brittle chill outside. You can hear nothing but the quiet crackle of the flames and your own slow breathing. The frozen night holds the cabin in its vast, silent hands, but here, close to the fire, everything is soft and safe. You let your eyes half close, watching the embers drifting easily toward the edge of sleep. The afternoon light reaches the shelf of books along the far wall, warming the worn spines to soft amber and gold. You stand before them with a cup of something warm, reading the faded titles without choosing one. The low sun slants across the room and lays a long bright path along the floor. Outside, snow lies soft on the pine branches and the forest is utterly still. The cabin smells of paper and timber and a little smoke. You run a fingertip along the warm spines, feeling the cloth and the leather, and the gold light pools around your feet. There is no hurry to read. You simply stand in the quiet warmth and let the afternoon belong. You settle near the cabin window where a single candle burns low, its flame leaning ever so gently as a faint breeze slips beneath the door. Outside, the pines stand perfectly still beneath their weight of snow, dark and patient against the sky the color of soft slate. The breeze is barely there, more a memory of movement than movement itself, brushing the back of your hand like a quiet thought. Snow holds the world in a deep hush, and the only sound is the slow settling of the timber walls around you. You breathe in the cool air, then the warm, and the candle steadies again, glowing low and even in the long, still dark. In the dim blue evening, the cabin feels wrapped in a deep, gentle hush. You sit near the window with the candle flickering softly beside you, watching the snowy pines fade into the dusk. The snow in the clearing glows faint and lavender beneath the indigo sky, smooth and undisturbed. The wood stove hums low and warm at your back, and the air smells of wood smoke and pine. You cradle a warm cup in both hands and feel the heat travel slowly up your arms. There is no edge to this evening, no sharpness anywhere. The light keeps softening, kind and unhurried. You feel yourself growing calm and heavy, sinking gently into the warm, dim quiet, ready to let the day go. You sit on the floor near the stove, back against the warm wood of the wall, watching the embers glow soft and red in the dim. A faint breeze passes through the cabin, a whisper of cool air across your face. Then the room falls into deep and gentle quiet. Outside, the snow lies thick over the clearing, and the pines stand dark and motionless beneath the still night sky. The warmth seeps into you slowly, easing the last of the cold away. There is nothing to do now but rest, nowhere to be but here in the quiet. You feel your breathing slow and your thoughts grow faint, and the deep stillness of the winter forest settles softly around you, drawing you toward sleep. Out on the small wooden porch, you stand a while beneath the wide dim sky, and the cold is gentle on your face. A faint breeze drifts down from the ridge, so soft it barely stirs the powder on the railing, and then the air goes utterly still again. The pines below are dark shapes resting on the snow, unmoving as if the whole forest has paused mid-breath. Far off, nothing moves, and the silence has a weight to it, a softness like wool laid over the hills. You draw the cold air in slowly and feel it cool and clean in your chest. Then you turn back toward the warm glow of the doorway, calm and unhurried, ready for rest. A deep, clear cold has descended on the forest, and the pines stand frosted and still beneath the sky, brilliant with winter stars. You sit by the cabin window with a wool blanket over your lap, watching the snow glow faintly blue in the moonlight. The stove behind you pours out a steady, comforting warmth, easing the chill from your shoulders and the back of your neck. Frost has crept up the corners of the glass in pale, delicate lace. You cradle a warm mug and feel the heat seep into your palms. The frozen woods are utterly silent, serene, and unmoving in the deep cold. You breathe slowly, your thoughts grow calm, and the long winter quiet settles around you, soft and complete, drawing you gently toward rest. Tucked beside the hearth is a small leather pouch, its drawstring frayed and soft, its surface burnished to a deep brown by years of handling. You could loosen the cord and feel inside a scatter of flat, smooth tinder tools and a single curved striker worn shiny along its edge. The leather smells of smoke and oil and time. Pressing it between your hands, you feel how it has molded itself to a shape that fits a palm. The firelight breathes low and orange across its surface. Beyond the window, snow drifts down in unhurried flakes. The little pouch keeps its quiet store of warmth-maker's clothes, soft and worn and ready, resting easy on the warm stone as the cabin sinks gently toward sleep. Just inside the cabin door, the afternoon sun lights the neat stack of split firewood and the small basket of kindling beside it, gilding the pale cut ends to warm amber. You crouch nearby and lay a fresh log atop the pile, in no hurry, feeling its rough, cool bark beneath your palms. The low light slants across the floor and warms the warm boards. Through the door's frosted pane, the snowy pines stand quiet and bright. The cabin smells of pine sap and timber and a little smoke. You rest a hand on the stacked wood and feel the sun's gentle warmth held within it. The long gold light pools around you, and you stay a moment, calm and unhurried in the quiet of the late day. Out in the frozen dark, the pines wear heavy coats of snow, their boughs bent low and patient under the deep cold. Inside the little cabin, you have lit the oil lamp and let its warm circle of light gather around the reading chair. A thick blanket is tucked around your legs, and the stove ticks softly as it holds the chill at bay. You can hear nothing from the forest but the vast, soft silence of a winter night. The cold has made everything slow and still, and you find your own thoughts slowing to match it. You watch the lamp flame burn steady and golden, and your eyelids grow heavier with each calm breath, until the room itself seems to be quietly dozing alongside you. You sit very still in the dim cabin and listen to the deep silence of the snowy night, watching the flakes fall past the window. They come down softly, slow and scattered, lit faintly by the glow of the lamp turned low. Each flake seems to drift more than fall, wandering down through the still air at its own gentle pace. The pines beyond are deep shadows, their branches softened by the day's white gathering. The cabin holds the warmth of the evening's fire. You follow the drifting flakes with your eyes, your thoughts slowing to match their unhurried descent. There is nothing to do but watch and breathe, and so you do, until the gentle falling snow has eased you into a calm so deep it feels like floating. Somewhere along the porch eaves an icicle has begun, very slowly, to form, and now and then a single drop runs down its length and falls with a small clear sound into the snow below. It is the patient music of the cold and the warmth meeting at the roofline, each drop unhurried, each one followed by a long, quiet pause. You lie warm in the dim room and listen to that slow, soft dripping mark, the passing of the night, one gentle drop at a time, never close enough to count, never far enough to forget. The sound is small and clear and endless, and you let it loosen your thoughts and carry them softly away. Folded inside the linen chest is a quilt of many small squares, each cut from a different worn cloth and stitched together with tiny even stitches. You might lift the corner and feel the soft thinned cotton, trace the seams that join faded plaids to pale florals, to a square of deep washed blue. Find the place where the batting has bunched into a gentle ridge. It smells of cedar and clean linen. Some squares are nearly worn through, soft as a petal. The lamp glows low over the open chest. Snow drifts past the dark window. The old quilt holds 100 scraps of forgotten cloth in its patient stitching, resting folded and warm, a soft archive of quiet years settling into the still of night. On the snow-dusted railing of the cabin porch, a small flock of pine siskins has paused for the night, their streaked, yellow-edged feathers fluffed against the chill. They have lingered near the warmth of the cabin, edging close together along the worn wood, their slender bills tucked into their plumage. The faint glow from the window touches them softly. They make no sound now, only the gentle stir of settling, and one by one they go still. The snow rests light on the railing beside them. From inside you watch their small shapes and feel the quiet pleasure of their nearness, these wild little birds choosing the shelter of your porch. You leave the lamp low and let them be, and the night holds the whole small flock in peace. Alone in the snowbound cabin, you find that solitude tonight is a wide and gentle peace, a still room in which your whole life seems to rest softly behind you. You sit by the low fire, a blanket warm across your knees, watching the embers glow. A memory rises of countless small ordinary evenings, the warmth of home, the murmur of loved voices, the deep and quiet good fortune of a life gently lived, and you hold it all fondly. The recollection warms you, asking nothing. Beyond the frosted window the pines stand heavy with snow. The fire breathes low. Your thoughts grow slow and calm, grateful and unhurried, and you feel a profound peace settle through you, complete and quiet as the snowfall, your mind drifting softly towards sleep. Inside the cabin, the night is deep and the fog is thick at the windows. You lie beneath warm blankets, watching the pale gray glow that the mist throws against the glass. The snowy pines beyond are gone now, hidden entirely, leaving only soft grayness in every direction. The stove holds a low warmth, and the cabin smells of cedar and quiet. The fog presses gently all around, sealing the little room into its own warm world. There is no sound but your own slow breathing and the faint sigh of settling wood. You feel safe here, tucked away, held by the mist and the dark and the deep snow. Your thoughts drift loose and slow, and sleep begins to gather softly, patiently around you. The cabin's front step is wide and worn smooth, and you sit upon it as the autumn sun lowers itself behind the pines. The light comes through the trees in long golden spokes, and the cool of evening rises slowly from the ground. You hold a warm mug between your palms and watch a pair of leaves drift down across the clearing, turning slow and bright in the last sun. The forest is hushed. Now and then a pine cone drops with a soft thud somewhere among the trunks. You let the warmth of the mug seep into your hands, and the calm of the evening seep into your chest, and you stay until the gold has gone soft and gray. The bed is warm and the room is dim, and you lie back against the soft pillows as the fire murmurs low across the cabin. A faint breeze sighs along the ears, a soft and distant sound. Then the night settles into deep and gentle silence. Through the window the pines stand dark and laden, the snow between them glowing faintly under the dim sky. The blankets are heavy and kind, holding the warmth close around you. You feel your body sink into the mattress, your breathing slow and even. There's nowhere to be tonight but here, wrapped in quiet and warmth. The deep stillness of the snowbound forest gathers softly around you, and your eyes grow heavy, easing you toward sleep. A clay mug waits on a table, glazed in a deep, uneven blue that thins to bare earthenware at the rim where a thumb has rubbed it for years. You might wrap both hands around its rounded belly, feeling the slight roughness of an unglazed ring at the base, the tiny crackle pattern in the glaze that catches the lamplight like frost on a pond. A faint ring of old tea stains the inside, soft brown and harmless. The handle fits the curl of your fingers as though made for them. Outside, snow heaps gently on the sill. The mug holds nothing now but a little leftover warmth and the comfortable shape of an evening's many quiet sips, settling slowly into the hush of night. The path from the cabin to the woodpile is short, and tonight you walk it slowly, your boots pressing soft prints into the new snow. Above you the sky has cleared completely, and the stars hang close and bright, so many that they seem to crowd the dark. Your breath rises in pale clouds and fades. The pines stand black and silent against the glittering sky, their tops dusted white. You pause halfway, an armful of split logs against your chest, and simply look up, letting the cold and the calm fill you. There is no wind, no sound but the faint settling of snow. You stay a moment longer beneath that quiet ceiling of stars, then carry your wood back toward the warm waiting glow of home. The cabin smells of pine and old wood, and you have settled by the window with a soft wool throw across your knees. Outside, the snow is falling in the gentlest possible way, the flakes drifting down like slow white feathers in the still night air. The lamp's glow reaches a little way into the dark, and within that glow you can watch the snow turning and settling, each flake taking its time. The forest is hushed and dim, the pines rounded and soft beneath the night's quiet work. You breathe slowly and let your gaze go unfocused, taking in the whole soft scene at once. The snow keeps coming light and endless, and you feel yourself growing calmer with every drifting flake. Through the open kitchen window, the night pours in cool and fragrant after the heat of the day. A kettle of chamomile has long since cooled on the stove, and its honeyed scent lingers in the small room. You stand at the counter in the dim, your hands resting on the smooth worn wood, looking out at the dark wall of trees. A few fireflies blink lazily among the lower branches, soft green sparks that fade as quickly as they come. The floorboards are warm under your bare feet. Far away, a stream murmurs over stones, a sound so steady it might be the cabin's own quiet pulse. You breathe it all in, slow and full, and feel the day loosen its hold. The cabin's old clock ticks softly on the mantel, and the golden evening light has reached it, warming the worn wood of its case. You sit nearby and listen, the slow, steady ticking filling the quiet room. Through the window, the pine forest stands in deepening amber, the last sun on the high branches. The fire is low, the air warm. You watch the brass pendulum swing back and forth, catching the gold light at each pass, and feel your own breathing fall into its calm rhythm. There is nowhere the hours need to take you tonight. The clock keeps its gentle time, the light slowly fades, and you let yourself sink into the deep peace of the slowing evening. A soft spring drizzle falls over the cabin this evening, pattering gently on the leaves of the pines and the last thin snow beneath them. You stand at the window watching it, a warm cup in your hands. The drops catch the porch lamplight as they fall, small bright threads in the dusk. The air drifting under the door is cool and clean, rich with the smell of wet bark and waking earth. Behind you the hearth glows low and warm. The forest is hushed beneath the rain, every sound softened to a gentle murmur. You breathe slowly, watching the drizzle drift down through the lamplight, and a deep calm settles over you, slow and soft, easing your thoughts toward the quiet of night. In a chipped saucer on the table rests a small heap of dried lavender, the buds gone gray-purple and brittle with age. You might pinch a little between your fingers and feel it crumble softly, releasing a quiet wave of that clean, sweet scent that seems to slow the very air. A few stems still hold their tiny clustered flowers, fragile as ash. The saucer's faded floral rim is worn nearly white at one edge. The lamp glows low and warm above it, and snow gathers on the dark sill beyond. The little gathering of lavender asks nothing tonight. It simply rests in its cracked dish, breathing out its gentle fragrance into the room, settling the evening into a soft and drowsy calm. Curled beneath a thick blanket on the small couch, you watch the firelight breeze softly against the timber ceiling. A faint breeze moves somewhere in the walls, a whisper of cool air that touches your face and is gone, leaving the stillness even deeper than before. Outside, the snow lies smooth and pale across the clearing, and the pines stand dark and motionless under the dim sky. The room is warm and gently lit, the air still and easy. There is nothing to do tonight but rest, nothing to hold but the soft weight of the blanket. You feel your breathing slow to match the quiet, and the deep stillness of the winter forest carries you, gently and without hurry, toward the soft shore of sleep. The forest at first light is a study in soft grays and gentle whites, every color muted by snow and the dim glow of approaching dawn. From the cabin's small porch window, you can see the path leading away between the pines, already softened by overnight powder. A pair of snowshoes leans against the wall, dusted with frost, waiting for a day that is in no hurry to begin. Inside, the air smells of pine resin and cold stone. You wrap both hands around a warm mug and watch the sky lighten, that slow shift from charcoal to pearl. There is no clock that matters here, no task pulling at you, only the white, patient quiet of the waking woods. You sit on a low stool near the stove, mending nothing, simply resting, while a single candle burns on the shelf above. A faint breeze sighs somewhere in the rafters, and the candle flame bows for an instant, then rises straight again as the room returns to stillness. Through the frosted window, the pines stand dark and laden, the snow around them smooth and undisturbed beneath the dim sky. The warmth of the stove wraps around you, soft and steady. There is no sound but the faint settling of wood and the slow draw of your own breath. The night feels endless and kind, and you let your gaze soften on the candle's glow, content in the deep and gentle quiet. A thin new moon has risen over the pines, while the west still holds a thread of sunset gold, and the snow beneath it glows the faintest silver blue. You stand at the open door well wrapped, and look from the warm gold in the west to the cool pale crescent in the east, the whole wide sky balanced between day and night. The clearing lies smooth and quiet and luminous. Your breath drifts and fades. The last gold thread thins and vanishes, and the moon brightens softly in the deepening blue, and the snow glows a little clearer beneath it. You stand a while in the calm of it, then step gently back into the warmth and ease the door shut. Somewhere in the rafters a beam gives a slow and gentle creak as the night's cold settles fully over the roof. It is a single drawn-out sound, low and woody in kind, and then the cabin is quiet again. These are the small, honest noises of an old wooden place, keeping itself together through the cold, and there is nothing in them to fear, only the soft evidence that the cabin is holding you safe. You listen as another beam answers somewhere across the room, a faint and friendly reply, and then the stillness returns. The word speaks once and rests and speaks again, and you rest with it, sinking softly into the deep, warm quiet. On a low branch just outside the kitchen window, a single black-capped chickadee that visited the feeder all day has stayed close to roost for the night. It has found a snug spot against the trunk, fluffed itself round, and lowered its small dark cap toward his chest. Through the long, cold hours, it will let its body cool ever so slightly to save its warmth, a quiet trick of survival, and rest in perfect calm. The snow drifts past, without troubling it beneath the sheltering boughs. From inside you see its tiny rounded shape and feel a soft fondness for the bird that shared your day. You dim the light, and the little chickadee sleeps on, near and safe and content. You draw a warm bath in the cabin's small tin tub as the spring evening dims the windows to soft gray. Steam rises in slow ribbons, and the cool air from the cracked window meets it gently, scented with thawing pine. Outside, the last snow lies pale in the dusk beneath the trees, and the meltwater stream murmurs faintly through the quiet. A candle flickers on the wooden shelf, its glow warm and low. You sink slowly into the water, and feel the day's weariness loosen from your shoulders and float away. the cabin is hushed and dim around you. You close your eyes and listen to the soft drip of melting snow, and the warmth holds you, and you rest. You sit cross-legged on a soft rug before the glowing stove, hands resting easy in your lap. A faint breeze whispers through the rafters, just enough to make the lamplight tremble for a moment before it steadies and the room falls still. Outside, snow lies thick and smooth across the forest floor, and the pines stand dark and motionless beneath the dim sky. The warmth of the fire wraps around you, soft and even, easing the last of the cold from your limbs. There is nothing to chase tonight, no thought to hold. You feel the quiet of the forest pressing gently at the walls, and your breathing slows to meet it, deep and calm, until you drift softly toward the warm edge of rest. The first faint bird song drifts through the snowy stillness, a single sweet note repeated softly somewhere in the pines. You pause in your chair to listen, the warm mug forgotten in your hands. The morning light is pale and growing, washing the cabin in soft silver. Outside, the trees stand draped in white, and the sky has lightened to a tender gray gold. The little melody comes again, unhurried and clear, the only sound in all that vast quiet. You smile gently and settle back, letting the song and the stillness fill you. There is such peace in the slow waking of the forest, such comfort in the warmth of the cabin around you. You have come outside one last time before sleep, just to stand in the snow and look up. The clearing is pale and smooth around the cabin, and the pines rise dark and still at its edges. Above you, the sky is crowded with quiet stars, more than you could ever count, their light steady and serene in the cold. Your breath rises softly and disappears. There is a deep settling peace in the stillness, in the way the stars simply rest in the dark without sound or motion. You stand there a long, slow moment, the cold clean and gentle on your face, the warmth of the cabin glowing behind you. Then, calmed and quieted, you turn and step back inside toward sleep. The eastern sky has turned a deep velvet blue, while the west still holds a low smolder of orange, and between them, over the snowy pines, hangs the first bright planet, steady and calm. You watch it from the cabin window, that single unwavering light, while the colors slowly drain and merge toward night. The snow in the clearing glows faintly, holding the dust. Inside, the fire is warm and the lamp unlit, and you sit in the soft gloom between the cool glass and the gentle coals. The planet brightens as the sky darkens around it. You feel the great slow turning of the evening, calm and certain, and let it carry your thoughts gently down toward rest. Out in the clearing, a single wooden lounge chair faces the open sky, and you have settled into it to watch for falling stars on this warm summer night. The air is mild and still, scented with pine and dry grass. Above, the heavens are crowded with stars, deep and silent and vast. The pines stand dark around the clearing's edge, framing the great bowl of sky. Now and then a faint star streaks and vanishes, and you smile softly in the dark. The cabin glows warm behind you, a small light in the white night. Crickets sing, and the grass whispers in the gentlest breeze. You feel wonderfully small beneath the endless sky, and wonderfully calm. Your eyes drift half closed, the stars blur in softly, and the warm night holds you still. On the windowsill rests a single white feather, drifted in from somewhere and kept for its softness. You might lift it by the quill and feel how weightless it is. Watch how the lamplight slides along its bobs. See the faint gray shadow that runs down its center shaft. Its edges are slightly ragged, a few bobs separated into soft fronds. It trembles at the smallest breath of air. Snow gathers on the dark glass behind it, white on white. The lamp glows low and warm across the sill. The little feather asks nothing of the evening. It simply rests where it landed, soft and pale and impossibly light, stirring gently in the room's quiet currents as the night drifts towards sleep. The fire makes a long, slow sound now, a soft, continuous breathing of low flame, in and out, as steady as a sleeper's chest rising and falling in the warm, dim room. There is no crackle left, only this gentle, even murmur, the patient voice of a fire well settled for the night. You lie close to it and let your own breath fall into time with that soft, warm rhythm, the fire breathing and you breathing, the two of you keeping the same slow pace in the quiet. The glow flickers faintly on the ceiling. The warmth flies over you like a hand, and the long, soft breathing of the flames draws you gently down towards sleep. Inside the cabin, the kettle hums low on the small iron stove, while the spring night gathers softly beyond the windows. You move slowly across the warm planks, pouring water over loose herbs that smell of mint and dried chamomile. Outside, the last of the snow sits pale beneath the pines, catching the faint blue of evening. A single moth taps gently at the lamp glass and then drifts away. You cup the warm mug in both hands and settle into a deep wooden chair near the hearth. The stove ticks softly as it cools. Everything around you is calm and close and quiet, and you sink a little deeper into the warmth with every slow, easy breath. Long icicles hang from the cabin's eaves, glinting faintly in the moonlight, and the deep cold has stilled the forest into perfect quiet. You have curled beneath a heavy down quilt on the bed nearest the stove, watching the last embers breathe their soft red light into the dark room. The cold has a clean, mineral scent that drifts faintly through the timber walls, mixing with the warmth of wood smoke. Outside, the snowy pines stand like patient sentinels, unmoving in the freezing air. You feel wonderfully warm beneath the covers, your toes finely thawed, your shoulders sinking into the pillow. The night stretches long and gentle around you, and you let the slow pulse of the embers lull you steadily down into rest. A mild spring breeze drifts through the half-open cabin window this evening, carrying the smell of damp pine and thawing earth. You lie still on the bed beneath a thick wool blanket, watching the curtains stir gently in the cool air. The last snow outside has melted to faint silver patches under the trees, barely visible now in the dimming light. The forest is hushed, save for the distant trickle of a swelling brook and the occasional soft creak of a settling branch. The lamp on the bedside table glows low and amber. You feel warm and weightless beneath the covers. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the gentle night air keeps washing softly over you as you drift. On the table beside you, a bowl of fir cones and dried orange peel gives off a faint, sweet scent, and the rain outside seems to deepen it, the way wet air carries smell. You breathe it in from your place beneath the blankets, slow and easy, while the drops patter soft on the roof above. The wood stove glows low. The window holds the gray of the rainy night, the soft snow, the dripping pines. There is a gentle richness to this hour, the scent and the warmth and the steady sound all woven together into something like a held breath. You feel your own breath slow and your body settle. The rain falls on, patient and kind, and the sweet warm dark draws gently over you, and you go under. The afternoon sun fills the cabin's main room and turns the worn floorboards to a river of warm gold. You lie on your back upon them, a cushion beneath your head, watching dust drift slowly through the high beams of light. The wooden ceiling glows amber, and the smell of timber and old smoke surrounds you. Through the window the snowy pine stands still and patient. The floor is warm beneath you, gently firm. You spread your arms a little and feel the sun soak into your palms. There is nothing to do but lie here and breathe in the long gold light. The afternoon stretches on, slow and unhurried, and the deep ease settles softly over your whole body. On the rag rug before the window, a cat lies stretched full length in the afternoon sun, and you sit beside it with your back against the wall. The golden light spills over you both, warm as a hand. The cat's fur glows soft at its edges, and its slow breathing is the only motion in the room. Beyond the glass, the snowy pines stand bright and still, their crowns lit amber by the sinking sun. The floor is warm beneath you. You rest your hand lightly on the cat's side and feel it rise and fall, and the slow gold light moves over the boards. The afternoon stretches long and gentle, asking nothing, and you stay. A single ray of early sun slips between two pines and falls across the cabin's kitchen table, warm and bright against the worn wood. You watch it slowly with sleepy contentment, your tea cooling gently in your hands. Outside, the snow glows softly where the light touches it, and the rest of the forest lies in soft blue shadow. The cabin is quiet and warm, the stove ticking faintly. The ray of light moves with imperceptible slowness as the sun climbs higher. You sit very still, savoring the warmth and the quiet, watching the morning advance one gentle inch at a time. There is deep peace in such slow watching, such comfort in the snow-hushed dawn. The cabin is warm and dim, lit only by the low embers in the hearth, and beyond the glass the snow is falling in the gentlest way. It drifts rather than falls, as though the air itself were carrying it carefully downward. You sit wrapped in a blanket and follow one flake until you lose it among 100 others. The pines stand dark and patient, their branches slowly whitening, and the whole forest seems to be holding its breath beneath this soft descent. There is no wind tonight, only the quiet sift of snow finding its place. You feel your eyelids grow heavy, and the falling flakes blur into a single soft veil that drapes the night in calm. It is deep in the night, and the snowdrifts have risen halfway up the cabin's north wall, so that the room feels swaddled, buried softly in white, warm and safe within its blanket of snow. You lie listening to the deep, muffled silence this brings, the way every sound seems to fall away into softness. The stove holds a low, steady warmth, its embers glowing faintly orange. The window is a dim blue square, the pines beyond barely visible in the dark. There is something deeply comforting in being so wrapped and sheltered while the cold winter night presses gently all around. Your thoughts grow slow and warm and shapeless, and you sink down into the bedding, drifting easily towards sleep. A wool rug lies before the cabin's door, and the late autumn sun reaches in across it, warming the woven fibers to a deep gold. You sit down upon it, cross-legged, in the band of light, and feel the warmth gather beneath you. Through the open door comes the cool resin scent of the pine forest, and the soft sound of needles stirring in a slow breeze. The clearing beyond glows amber, the long grass bowing gently. You rest your hands on your knees and let your eyes half close against the brightness. The day is unwinding all around you slow and golden, and you let yourself unwind with it, breath by easy breath. Blue hour settles gently over the snowy pines, and the cabin glows warm against the cooling dusk. You stand at the window watching the forest fade, each tree softening into a quiet shadow, the snow between them glowing faint in lavender. Inside, a candle burns steady on the sill, and the wood stove radiates a low, comfortable heat. You wrap a blanket around your shoulders and lean against the windowsill, breath slow and easy. Nothing stirs in the still evening. The silence outside is soft, almost tender. You feel the day loosen its hold, your thoughts growing slow and unbothered. The dusk deepens toward night, calm and unhurried, and you let yourself sink gently into its quiet, ready for sleep. Out on a south-facing porch, the afternoon sun has warmed the wooden planks just enough to take the bite from the cold. You sit on the worn bench with a mug cradled in both hands, looking across a clearing that glows pale gold. The snow stretches smooth to the tree line, and the pines beyond stand dark and patient, their crowns lit like embers by the low light. A faint steam rises from your cabin from the sun-touched railing. Everything is hushed and slow. You feel the warmth of the boards through your blanket and the gentle chill on your cheeks, and you let the long light hold you in its quiet, unhurried glow. A narrow wooden footbridge crosses the stream behind the cabin, and you stand at its middle in the golden evening, leaning on the rail. Below, the water moves slow and clear, catching the amber light in shifting ripples. Yellow leaves drift down upon it and slip beneath the bridge and out the other side. The pine forest rises on both banks, dark green deepening toward dusk, the high branches still gilded. The air is cool and smells of water and resin. You watch the leaves go by, one after another, in no hurry to be anywhere, and feel your own thoughts loosen and float free upon the gentle current, as the long gold light slowly fades. Alone in the little cabin, you find the silence of the snowy night a deep and welcome rest. You sit by the window with a blanket about your shoulders, watching the soft fall of snow in the lamplight. A fond memory drifts up of a quiet library from your student days, the hush of it, the smell of old pages, the deep contentment of being lost in a good book, and you hold it gently. The recollection asks nothing, only keeps you company. The pines beyond the glass stand still and white, the forest deep in winter sleep. The fire breathes low. Your thoughts move slow and calm, and you feel a profound peace settle through you, the deep ease of being alone and content. In the long middle hours the cabin is so quiet you can hear the candle flame itself, a tiny, almost silent flutter of light on the table beside you. The wax gathers and slips slowly down the side of the candle, glistening, unhurried. Warm shadows lean and sway across the timber walls. Outside the frosted window, the snowy pines stand in deep blue darkness, utterly motionless, their branches bowed under the soft white weight. You feel the warmth of the room settle over you like a hand laid gently on your back. Your breathing grows slow and even. The little flame keeps its quiet watch, and beneath its soft glow you let the long, peaceful night carry you towards sleep. The night has gone all soft edges, the way it does when rain falls steady over snow. From your place by the window you can see the clearing only dimly, a pale field going grayer and gentler under the even fall, the pine shadows leaning into one another beyond. The cabin holds you warm. On the roof the rain keeps its long, low patter, and on the porch the eaves let down their slow and rhythmic drip. The lamp burns low and amber. You have a blanket to your chin and warmth at your feet, and nothing in the world requires your attention. You let your gaze go unfocused on the gray window, and the rain blurs into a single soothing sound, and you sing. The blue hour finds you wrapped in a quilt by the cabin's small window, watching snow lie soft and luminous beneath the darkening sky. The pines have become tall blue shadows, motionless in the windless evening, the tops still faintly touched by the last of the light. A low fire glows in the hearth, painting the wooden walls a warm, dim gold. You cradle a cup of something hot and let its warmth seep slowly into your palms. The room is quiet, the world outside quieter still. There's nothing pressing, nothing pulling. You breathe in the wood smoke air and feel your thoughts grow slow and soft, drifting like the dust that gathers gently over the sleeping forest. Deep in the night, a soft mound of snow slides slowly from the cabin's eaves and settles below the window with the faintest cushioned sound, and then the stillness returns, deeper than before. You lie warm beneath the blankets, half listening, half dreaming. The stove glows low and steady, its embers a quiet bed of orange. Outside, the pines stand dark and laden beneath the moonless sky, the snow smooth and pale between them. The air in the cabin is warm and faintly sweet with wood smoke. Your thoughts move slow and unhurried, like clouds drifting across a calm winter sky. There is nothing to hold you back from rest. You let your eyes close, and the deep soft quiet carries you down into sleep. A thin layer of ice has formed on the rain barrel beside the cabin door, glazing the surface with a delicate sheen. In the first dawn light, it catches the pale sky and holds it like a small gray mirror. The forest beyond is wrapped in fresh snow, the pines bowed and silent. You stand at the window in thick wool socks, the floorboards cool beneath your feet, watching the morning gather itself slowly among the trees. The air inside is warm and still, scented faintly with cedar. There is a softness to everything at this hour, the light, the snow, the silence, as though the whole world has agreed to begin the day gently. You breathe deep and let the calm settle through you. The afternoon sun leans low through the western window, and the whole cabin turns the color of warm honey. You sit in the deep armchair near the glass, watching dust drift slowly through the light like flecks of gold suspended in stillness. Outside, the pines stand quiet under their soft white load, each branch etched in pale fire where the light touches it. The room is warm, the floorboards faintly creaking as they settle. A wool blanket rests across your knees, heavy and kind. You breathe in slowly, and the smell of old timber and wood smoke fills you. There is nowhere you need to be. The light moves a little, patient and unhurried, and you let your shoulders sink. You lie beneath layered quilts in the small loft, where the slanted ceiling slopes close and snug above you. A faint breeze moves through the cabin somewhere below, lifting the edge of a curtain for a moment before letting it fall, and then the air is perfectly still once more. Through the little gable window you can see the tops of the snow-laden pines, dark and unmoving against the dim gray sky. The cold outside makes the warmth of the bed feel deeper, kinder, wrapped close around you. You hear nothing now but the soft sound of your own breathing, slow and even. The stillness holds you gently, and your thoughts begin to loosen and quiet, drifting easily into the long, soft dark. On the cabin's small deck, a wide wooden swing hangs from the roof beams, and you lie across it lengthwise, a cushion beneath your head. The warm night air drifts over you as the swing sways in the gentlest arc. Above, the pine tops trace dark patterns against the sky thick with stars. The forest is alive with soft summer sounds, the steady pulse of crickets and the far-off ripple of water. The deckboards still hold a faint warmth from the long day. You can smell pine and warm wood and the green breath of the woods. The swing rocks slowly, slowly, and your eyes follow the swaying branches until they blur. There is nowhere to be, and the soft night holds you close. Late in the night the snow has stopped, and the forest beyond the cabin has gone breathlessly still, every branch laden, every drift smooth and untouched beneath a sky pricked with faint stars. Inside, the lamp is turned low and the stove holds a gentle warmth. You sit propped against the headboard with a blanket over your knees, watching the stars through the cold pane, naming none of them, simply letting them be. The cabin is a small, warm, glowing room afloat in a vast, quiet darkness. Nothing presses, nothing hurries. Slowly the blanket grows heavier and your eyes grow softer, and you slide down into the pillows. The starlit forest stand in peaceful guard while you drift toward sleep. The afternoon sun reaches the bed where you lie atop the covers, fully dressed and drowsy, and it lays a warm gold band across your chest. You watch the light through half-closed eyes as it moves with infinite slowness over the quilt. The wooden ceiling beams are warm and close above you. Through the window, the snowy pines stand patient and still, their crowns lit soft amber. The cabin is hushed. You feel the warmth of the sun sink through your clothes and into you, heavy and kind. There is nowhere to be and nothing to do. The long light holds you gently, and your breathing deepens, and the edges of the room grow soft and warm and far away. The cabin window has fogged at the edges, and to the clear center you watch the snow fall in the soft glow of the evening lamp. The flakes come down lightly, drifting and pausing in the still air, each finding its slow way to the white below. The lamplight catches them and turns them briefly golden before they settle on the sill. The pines beyond are quiet and dim, their branches lined with thin, even ridges of snow. You wipe the fog a little wider with your sleeve and lean closer to watch. The clearing fills slowly, smoothly, the path nearly gone. The snow keeps falling, gentle and patient, and you feel your breathing slow and your thoughts grow soft as you take in the quiet of the snowy night. Low in a snowberry bush beside the frozen creek, a small song sparrow has fluffed itself round and settled in for the night, sheltered among the bare twigs and pale clustered berries. The cold creek murmurs faintly beneath its eyes, a soft and distant sound. The sparrow tucks its streaked brown head beneath a wing, and his breathing slows to a gentle rhythm. Snow rests light on the branches above it without slipping through. From the cabin window, the bush is a small dark mound against the white, holding its quiet sleeper safe. You watch the faint steam of your breath on the glass and think how little the small bird needs to be content, and the thought settles you, soft and slow. In the deepening blue of the gloaming, the cabin glows like a small warm ember in the snowy dark. You sit by the window with a blanket about your shoulders, watching the pines soften into shadow against the indigo sky. Snow lies smooth and luminous across the clearing, faintly violet in the failing light. A single lamp burns warm in the corner, and the wood stove hums low at your back. You breathe in the still, warm air and feel your thoughts grow slow and unbothered. Nothing moves in the quiet evening, not a branch, not a sound. The dusk holds the forest gently in its hush, and you feel yourself settling into a deep, easy calm, soft and complete as the snow. The window above your bed frames a perfect square of moonlit forest, and you lie back to watch it. Snow on the sill glows like powdered beryl, and beyond it the clearing stretches pale and smooth toward the dark line of pines. The light is so bright tonight that you can see each tree distinctly, every bough outlined in soft white. A blanket of clouds drifts slowly across the sky, dimming the glow for a breath, then letting it return. Your quilt is heavy and warm across your legs, and the pillow cradles your head just so. You follow the slow travel of the moon across the glass until your eyelids grow heavy and the bright scene blurs gently into sleep. Alone in the little cabin, you find the silence of the winter night deeply soothing, a quiet space in which your thoughts can rest. You sit by the low fire, a blanket warm across your knees, watching the embers glow. A memory rises softly of a lakeside cabin from your youth, the slap of water against a wooden dock, the warmth of sun on bare shoulders, and you hold it close, fond and unhurried. The recollection brings only gladness. Beyond the frosted window, the snowy pines stand still and patient, hushed beneath a white blanket. The fire breathes low. There is no demand on you here, no hurry of any kind, only this peaceful solitary hour, and you feel your mind grow calm and slow. A row of icicles hangs from the cabin eaves, and in the low sunset light they glow like strands of warm honey, each one catching and bending the orange of the sky. You watch them from just inside the window, where the warmth of the room meets the cold of the glass. Beyond them the snowfield stretches pale and quiet toward the dark trees. Now and then a single drop forms slowly at the tip of an icicle and falls, soundless, into the soft snow below. The sun sinks lower and the honey light dims to amber, then to a cool blue. You stay where you are, unhurried, watching the slow transformation of light into evening. In the soft blue dusk, the cabin's windows glow gently against the darkening forest. You sit cross-legged on a thick rug near the stove, a blanket draped over your shoulders, watching the firelight dance on the beams above. Outside, the pines have faded into quiet shadow, and the snow glows faintly in the deepening blue. The room is warm and close, the air still. The only sounds are the soft murmur of the fire and the distant settling of snow on the roof. You feel the day's weight slipping quietly away. There is nothing left to do, nowhere left to go. The blue hour holds you softly in its hush, and your eyelids grow heavy in the warm dim light. You stand at the door a final moment, looking out at the dark, silent pines beneath the dim and clouded sky before turning in for the night. A faint breeze drifts past, cool and clean against your face, then fades, and the forest holds its deep and patient quiet. The cabin behind you is warm and softly lit, the stove glowing low, the lamp turned gentle. You feel the calm of the hours settling through you, slow and kind. There is nothing pressing in this quiet night, nothing to hold. You close the door softly against the cold and cross to the warm bed, and the deep stillness of the snow-bound forest follows you in, drawing your thoughts gently toward rest. A thin morning fog drifts through the pines, catching the soft gray light and holding it. From the cabin window, you watch the mist move slowly over the snow, brushing the white ground, curling around the dark trunks. Frost edges the glass in delicate feathers. The room behind you is warm and dim, the fire a low and glowing ember. You wrap your hands around the cup and breathe in the still, sweet air. There is no rush to this hour. The fog asks nothing, only drifts, gentle and gray, among the patient trees. You watch a single pine emerge and fade, and you feel your own thoughts doing the same, rising and softening, until at last they settle into a calm and quiet peace. The slope behind the cabin glows the deepest rose of all as the sun sets, the low light skimming sideways across its unbroken snow and catching every faint ripple and rise. You stand at the corner of the porch and take it in, the soft pink field running up to the dark fringe of pines at the ridgeline. Long blue shadows pool in the gentle hollows. The air is so still, you can hear the small whisper of your own breathing. Slowly the rose cools to mauve, and the mauve to a dim and dreaming blue, and the slope settles into evening. You watch until the color is wholly gone, then step inside, carrying the quiet of it with you. The little cabin stove glows softly as the spring night settles over the snowy pines outside. You sit at the small wooden table, slowly turning the pages of an old photo album by lamplight. Each picture is soft and faded, full of gentle memory. Beyond the window, the last snow gleams faintly on the darkening sky, and the thread of melt trickles past somewhere in the dark. The cool air slipping in from outside is mild and clean. You linger on each page without hurry, and a quiet warmth gathers in your chest. The lamp casts a steady amber circle on the table. The forest is hushed, the night is kind, and your eyelids slowly, gently begin to lower. Alone in the snowbound cabin, you find that the solitude clears your mind like fresh snow clears the air, leaving everything soft and still. You sit by the low fire, watching its gentle light play across the dark beams overhead. A memory rises of a quiet morning spent fishing long ago, the mist on the water, the patience of it, the easy companionship of someone who needed no words, and you hold it fondly. The recollection warms you, asking nothing in return. Beyond the frosted window, the pines stand heavy with snow, the forest deep in winter rest. The fire breathes slow. Your thoughts move slow and calm, unhurried and kind, and you feel a profound peace settle through you, the deep contentment of being alone and entirely at ease. Very late now the wind has come and gone, and in its wake the forest has settled into a hush so deep it almost hums. Inside the cabin, a kettle sits cooling on the back of the stove, its faint metallic warmth still ticking softly into the dark. You are wrapped in a thick wool blanket on the narrow bed, your pillow cool, your body warm. The lamp is dim, the room a soft amber cave against the snowy night. Outside the moon has slipped behind a veil of cloud, and the world is a tender gray blue, snow on snow on snow. You close your eyes and feel the slow, even rhythm of your own breath, and the night holds it gently. Out by the garden gate, the last of the autumn light gilds the heads of the spent sunflowers. Their dark-seated faces bow toward the earth. You walk the little row slowly in the warm evening, brushing your fingers along their rough, dry stalks. The pine forest stands behind the cabin, deep green going to shadow, while the western sky burns soft and gold. A cool breeze moves through, and the sunflowers nod, and somewhere a late cricket sings on. You gather a few fallen leaves without quite meaning to, then let them go again. The garden is settling for the night, and you settle with it, your steps growing slow and your thoughts calm. Deep in the night, frost has drawn slow feathered patterns across the lower corners of the window pane. Delicate ferns of ice grown silently while you doze. A low candle burns on the table, its small flame steady in the windowless room, throwing a warm, wavering circle onto the wooden ceiling. Beyond the glass, the snowy pines are bathed in faint blue starlight. A hush so complete it feels almost soft to the touch. The cabin breathes around you in tiny creaks of cooling wood. You pull the blanket higher and watch the candlelight tremble gently against the frost, and a deep, untroubled calm spreads through you, slow as warmth moving into chilled hands. A pair of reading spectacles rests folded on the closed book by the lamp, their thin wire frames bent gently to the shape of a remembered face. You might pick them up and feel the cool slender arms, the small worn pads where they set against the nose, the slight smudge across one lens that softens the light passing through. A tiny screw at one hinge has been carefully tightened more than once. The lamp glows warm and low, doubling itself faintly in each round lens. Snow gathers soft on the dark window. The little spectacles wait patiently atop their book, holding the shape of long quiet evenings of reading, resting easy in the lamplight as the night settles gently down around them. Now and then the fire shifts and the log rolls slowly against another with a soft low rumble, settling into a new and steadier place. It is an unhurried sound, more a sigh than a crack, and the flames murmur a little louder for a moment before easing back to their gentle crackle. You watch the dim warm glow flicker faintly on the ceiling and listen to the fire rearranging itself, patient and slow, the way a sleeper turns over in the night. There is comfort in it, in the steady work of the fire, keeping the room warm and the small soft sounds it makes while doing so, and you let that comfort fill you as your eyelids grow heavy. A soft fog has filled the morning, and the cabin sits quietly within its pale embrace. From the window you watch the snowy pines fade into gray, their tops lost entirely in the haze. The light is gentle and diffuse, casting no shadows, smoothing the whole clearing into one calm tone. You hold a warm cup in both hands and breathe its steam, which rises to meet the misted glass. Outside the snow lies undisturbed, soft and white beneath the drifting fog. There is no edge to this hour, no demand, only the slow movement of the mist and the patient stillness of the trees. You feel your breathing ease and your shoulders soften, and the quiet of the foggy morning settles over you like a gentle hand. A pair of mittens lies drying on the hearthstone before the low fire, still faintly damp from the evening before, gently warmed by the fading coals. In the first gray light of the snowy morning, the room is dim and still. Through the window, the pines stand wrapped in white, the sky softening slowly toward gold. You sit nearby, a blanket around your shoulders, watching the soft glow of the embers and the slow brightening of the day. The cabin holds the faint, sweet scent of wood smoke and wet wool. There is a quiet domestic comfort in the drying mittens, the warm hearth, the patient light. You feel your thoughts settle calm and easy, your breathing slow and deep, content in the gentle peace of the waking cabin. The cabin's small window catches the first true ray of sunlight as it clears the distant pines, a soft beam of gold that falls slowly across the wooden floor. You watch it lengthen, warming the boards, catching the fine motes of dust that drift lazily in the still air. Beyond the glass, the snowy forest glows in the new light, the white deepening to amber, the long blue shadows beginning to shrink. Inside, the cabin is warm, the fire breathing low. A blanket lies soft across your lap. There is a gentle joy in this first warm light, this quiet arrival of the sun, and you feel your own thoughts brighten softly with it. You rest in the warmth, unhurried, content to let the morning slowly fill the room. You wrap both hands around the warm mug of cocoa and settle into the deep armchair by the window, watching the snowy dawn unfold. The drink is rich and sweet, sending up curls of fragrant steam. Outside, the pine forest glows in the soft gray gold light of early morning, every branch laden with snow. The clearing lies smooth and white and perfectly still. The cabin is warm around you, the stove humming low. You sip slowly, savoring the heat and the sweetness, in no hurry to move. The morning asks nothing of you. You let yourself sink deeper into the cushions, gazing out at the quiet trees, feeling utterly content in the gentle, snow-hushed peace. The first light of a foggy morning seeps slowly into the clearing, turning the mist a soft pearl gray. From the cabin window you watch the snowy pines emerge and fade, as the fog drifts among them. Frost has feathered the corners of the glass. The room behind you is warm and dim, the fire a low orange glow. You wrap your hands around the cup and breathe in the quiet. There is no rush to greet this morning. It asks nothing of you but to be witnessed softly. The mist moves over the snow like slow water, and the trees stand patient within it. You settle deeper into your chair and let the gentle grayness fill you with a calm and drowsy peace. A soft mist has risen with the rain, and it hangs in the porch light like a pale gray breath, the falling drops drawing fine silver lines through it. You watch from your warm place by the window, a blanket drawn close, the wood stove glowing low behind you. The roof carries its long, even murmur. Beyond the misted light, the snow lies soft and gray, and the pines are only deeper shadows in the dark. There is a dreamlike softness to the night, everything blurred and gentle and slow. You feel your own edges blur to match it, your thoughts loosening, your breath slowing. The rain falls through the mist, patient and endless, and you let the soft gray world carry you gently down towards sleep. Far overhead in the crown of the tallest pine, a bald eagle has settled onto its favored roosting branch, drawing its great body into a still dark shape against the stars. Its white head is tucked low, its powerful wings folded close, its fierce eyes softened with rest. It is not hunting now. It sits in calm command of the quiet night, the snow gathering lightly on the branch beside it. From the cabin you see only its broad silhouette high above, motionless and serene. There is a profound stillness in so great a birded rest, a deep and easy peace that seems to settle over the whole forest beneath it. You watch a while, then breathe slow, and the eagle's calm becomes your own in the dark. The day has ended, and the warm quiet of the night surrounds you. Outside, the snow falls silently over the pines. Inside, the cabin holds you safe and warm. There is nothing more to think about, nothing more to do. Let your shoulders soften, let your breathing slow, and let the deep stillness of the forest settle into you. Sleep is here now. Let yourself drift gently down into it and rest well through the long winter night.